Lodi UK's first podcast.
Been talking rubbish for the last 3/4 of an hour.
Today we've got Mark and Chris from Pest Interceptors. Where are you currently based?
Would you class it as Stourbridge, I suppose?
Stourbridge, yeah, your Wordsley, I'm Kings Winford.
And you currently branch out to most of Worcestershire?
Well, no, we're just going into Worcestershire now, aren't we?
Yeah, we had to make a big decision really. 15 miles away from Birmingham city centre or 35 miles from Worcester city centre.
Yeah.
We'd rather go to Worcester.
We chose the nice drive into the country to cover Worcester rather than driving into the Birmingham city centre every day.
Actually quicker, I reckon.
It is a lot quicker. Straight down the A449, you're in Worcester in half an hour. You ain't going to get into the centre of Birmingham in half an hour.
Can you imagine doing a job from Stourbridge, going to Birmingham Friday night?
No.
5 o'clock, you're on the job.
Are you saying you work Friday nights, Chris?
I wouldn't. We're finished by 3 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah, on a good day. I mean, if we're still working at 4 o'clock, then that's a bad day. We seem to be able to cram, I mean, even in the summer when we're doing 15, 20 wasp nests, we seem to manage to cram them all into about 5-6 hours, don't we?
Yeah.
And I don't know quite how we do it.
Planning and preparation, mate. That's
Yeah.
what it is. True Boy Scouts.
I think we've timed ourselves in the summer on a wasp job.
2 minutes 30.
2.5 minutes, and that included getting
2.5
triple ladders off
minutes
the
in and
roof
out.
of the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. Unpaid.
Yeah.
In, out, invoice
That is
paid,
quick.
ladders back on the roof, and off to the next job.
And then the customers there go, is that it? And you're like, well, yeah. Sorted your wasp nest out.
That is one of the things that always comes up, isn't it? That's one of the most annoying things. They call you out to do something, and then you get, is that it? And you're like, well, yeah, because I've done what you asked me to do. You know, I haven't said to you, I'm going to be here for an hour for whatever price it is. It's you're charged to get rid of their problem. It's like when we go out and do the stored product things, and we love doing them.
Yeah.
Stored product beetles, because we have like a little competition between us, and then it's like, in fact, it's about this time of the year we usually get them. Isn't it?
I can't remember, but all I know is I win usually. And you find them quite often. I don't know if you've seen them like heated pads that you can put in the microwave. They're like, you know, you can put in your back or
Yeah, I
whatever.
know what you mean.
They're full of like grains. or
Sleep aids
pulses
that
or
have
whatever.
lavender in, don't they? Lavender grains.
And it's
sometimes.
usually in something like that, or a child's toy which has got these grains and stuff like that in. And basically, they'll call you out, and your job is just to search through their cupboards until you find what it is.
It is good.
It's just good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes what we have to do is we say to the customer, right, we will give you 1 hour from when we pull up on the drive. We'll give you 1 hour, but we might be there for 2 seconds. And sometimes we literally walk in, and you'll see them coming out of a little cupboard somewhere in the kitchen, or you walk over, open that cupboard, put your hand in, pick the right thing up, and say, right, there you go, pay me, goodbye.
And the
This
response is like, oh.
Because that's the treatment, isn't it? At the end of the
Well, 'cause
day,
there is no actual treatment for them, is it? It's just removing the thing that they're feeding.
Yeah. That one we did not so long back for that big company that we worked for over Willenhall Way. And it was basically like woodworm beetle, but there was no woodworm in the place whatsoever.
Right.
We sent them off to see what they were. It turned out it was kind of a stored product woodworm type beetle,
Okay.
but they only fed on a certain type of South American hardwood. So then it was like, well, you've got a piece of this furniture
Get
in
rid of
your massive place where you've got all these people living. You remove that, and then your problem's gone. But there's no treatment. That's the job, you know. It's like I had a packet of I bought a sleeve of Embassy No. 1 back from Cuba, and I opened up one of the packets out the sleeve of a pack of 20 fags.
Yeah.
And I pulled one out and I lit it, and it like nearly lit my eyebrows up. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? And I looked, and I pulled the next one out, and there was all these little holes in it. And this one packet out of all of them must have had the tobacco beetle in it, which is a stored product beetle, I believe. I think it's in that classification. And all that does is live on tobacco. That's all it does. So it couldn't go and live on a tomato plant. Do you know what I mean? So if you can find out exactly what that insect lives on, take that out of the scenario, and that's it. Job
You break
done.
the chain?
Break the chain, yeah. Our tagline, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
what's our
What is
tagline?
it? Break the cycle, is it your tagline?
Breaking the cycle, yes.
Got it written all over your truck.
Yeah, it
mate,
does.
we've had the truck version 2.0 now, mate. The roof rack, we've had all signs all around it. We've had the LED lights on the front, which are probably highly illegal, so we're not actually going to ever use them, but they look good.
Do you remember when I started my little Astra van? I had Paul Wilkinson's, because he set up Pest Force all those years ago, good man. And I had his old Astra van. It was an absolute dog of a vehicle, but
Okay.
that's all I could afford at the time, to take his old van off him. And I thought, this doesn't stand out from the crowd at all, so I went and got a sign. And the sign got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I put it on the roof rack, and it was basically as big as the Astra van, this sign. In the wind, it used to be lifted onto 2 wheels and stuff as I went round corners. But the truth is, I used to get calls off it, and in the early days, you haven't got no backup customers and stuff like that.
Are we talking about the Yellow Pages here?
This was better than Yellow. I suppose it was, yeah, because Google just started off back then. We were kind of lucky, really, because it kind of forced us all to get into Google just as Google was getting going. And I don't think a lot of pest control companies had realised how powerful it was at that point.
Our Google search was mega in the late 90s, wasn't it?
Well, that was when pay-per-clicks was reasonable priced, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now you can spend thousands of pounds a month.
Have you still got the mice on the van?
The rats.
Could you glue? I saw you glue them on. Oh, the rat.
The one fell off the back. We went down a really, really bumpy road not that long after we left here, actually. And it wasn't there when we got to the end of the bumpy road, basically.
Yeah, that was quite annoying.
The one in the front's stuck fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our version of the Rolls Royce Flying Lady, isn't it? A plastic rat. I pulled up outside of this young lady's house, and I reversed on the drive, and I was waiting for her to get ready. And this chap and lady was walking down with a massive dog. The next thing I know, the dog's going absolutely berserk at the front of the truck, and I was thinking, what the hell? Then I realised there's a rat on the front of it, innit? And the dog must have seen the rat and just went absolutely berserk, like.
Do you get people calling you and saying, "Oh, we noticed your van going around"?
Well, funny story about that, actually.
Yeah.
Why? Because we had the van sign written about a year ago. Looked brilliant. We had the number on there all over it. And a few months back in the summer, this bloke said, "Oh, I tried to ring your number the other day. It went through to somebody else, but then I noticed that your 1 looks like a 7." And we thought, "Oh, we'll get that fixed at some point."
Yeah.
So we went and had it fixed literally a couple of weeks ago, so it looks like a 1. And what happened there?
The bloke rang me up, didn't he? I'd literally changed the ones so they look like 1s instead of 7s. And I got a phone call off a guy in Wales saying, "All right, mate, can you do something about your signs?" Because my missus had about 60 or 80 phone calls since over the last 3 or 4 months.
Think of all the sales we've lost over the last year. People dialing that number and not really checking it.
You should always have a list, mate, of things to do.
Yeah,
if it had been on a list, I'd have done it. And it wasn't on a list, so it didn't get done. Gotta have lists.
He's trying to get me into lists. It's all in my mental list.
Really, you should do a list, and then you should prioritise the list. So you need to make a second list. And you should have a short-term list and a long-term list.
I don't want to go from no lists to 3 lists.
This is what I'm going to do on my road trip that I'm going on. I'm going to sit there with my dictaphone making lists.
You're going on a road trip?
I am.
Where are you going to go?
I'm going from Poland through the Czech Republic, Austria, Italy, I think, or Switzerland. I can't remember which way we're going around the Alps. Then quickly through France. I know Lodi's from France, but...
Unknown to listeners, Mark used to work for Lodi.
I did. Lodi trained me on pest control for 7 years, and then I contacted Chris, who was one of my customers, and I messaged him on Facebook saying, "Can I have a job?" And he went, "Yeah, all right." And that was it. That was my interview.
Really didn't regret it.
Well, one of us didn't. Anyway, Mark, when are you going to start doing pest control for real?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically, I'm good at passing him things when he's in a manhole or up a ladder. I'm a good passer.
We do spend more time in manholes than anywhere else now, don't we? It really is crazy the way that's changed.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting job. And I'll tell you something, the ladies, they love it, mate. You take a girl out mole catching in the summer. I don't know why, because it wouldn't turn me on if I was a girl, but it definitely does something.
They might like a road trip, and it's a fun thing to do.
Well, perhaps it's because really, when you think about it, it's probably the only job on the planet where you're still doing like what a caveman would do. You're going out, you're trapping things, you're catching things. Yeah. You do that, and then you go home, and okay, your reward is not eating the rat or the rabbit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's actually what we're supposed to do biologically and evolutionarily. That's the way I look at the job. That's why it keeps you fit, really. Well, I don't know. Well, it keeps you kind of fit, doesn't it? But at the end of the day, different seasons come. Wasps are up and down the ladders all day long. Then it goes in lofts all the time, so you're climbing around what's like climbing frames, basically. It's basically like kind of being to a soft gym all day, isn't it? All year round. Different things. Then you get all the moles, you're on your knees digging holes in the ground.
And stuff like that.
It's a good business to be in, really, because there's always going to be pests.
And it's not something that technology can really take over as such. So, I'm sure drones will be able to start killing wasp nests or something at some point, but you're not going to be able to get technology taking over what we do on 90% of what we do.
I tell you, the worry is, it seemed like a few years ago for us to say this, it seemed like some kind of sci-fi craziness I was talking about, but the DNA stuff and things like that, like they're doing it with mosquitoes and rats in certain places, aren't they? And they're making it so that the DNA is different, and every time they breed, it means that the male is impotent or something like that, and that gene will carry on somehow. So that's one way they're doing it. But at the same time, they've had plans like this in the past, and the old rats have come back against it, haven't they? In New York, they had a massive big program. I'm sure it was New York, massive program to get rid of the rats, and it seemed to work almost perfectly. But one thing they forgot about DNA is all those ones that did survive.
Yeah.
All of their offspring have got their genetics that got past whatever rodenticide was used to kill them all, and now all this talk of super rats, they have created a breed of super rats now, because they are completely going to be indestructible.
And they're huge.
Well, because they've got all the food now, so they've got no natural competition from other rats. So basically, all their offspring are going to survive because there's no other rats there to kill them. See, that's the thing. You shouldn't mess with nature, man.
Do you remember what happened with the was it the toads in Australia?
And cane toads.
Yeah,
they brought them in,
and
didn't they, to eat something. Have you ever seen those videos of the mouse problem they had over there?
No.
That was caused by us messing with something, and we took something out of the equation or put some animal into the equation, trying to balance it up in our favour, and basically it didn't work. Have you never seen those videos of people opening doors in barns and stuff, and literally it's like a brown flow of mice just it would be like my worst nightmare, man. I'd be screaming. I'd just be screaming and screaming and screaming over it.
No, you love your mice in your house at the moment, don't you, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Chris has had a mouse problem now for about 6 weeks, and he's had to tear down his ceiling to get it.
You've taken away the plaster.
If it was a customer's house, it would be an absolute nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know what we'd do if it was a customer's house. I don't know how we would have approached it, because sometimes you've got a situation where you can get stuff up through, holes in roofs and things like that.
Light fittings and stuff.
Fittings, but this would just been a nightmare. And because of the CRRU rules, we would stop using rodenticides unless you really need to. We had to trap one first. Okay, so I'll trap a mouse. Every other job we've been trapping now for a couple of years.
Yeah, you proved this one there.
Yeah, see what species it is, then tell your what you're going to do to that. But these are house mice, so it's already taken me maybe nearly 2 months to catch one, right? Because they are in a different league, man, of intelligence.
Yeah.
When it comes to traps and stuff, I could see under the floorboards. I'd put tracking dust down, trying to work out how they were getting in and stuff like that, and I could see the tracking dust going up to the traps, doing a little U-turn around the trap, then going straight down the inside of the floorboards again, and literally going up to every trap and doing that. In the end, we caught one just in time for the TV people, don't we? Yeah. Which was handy.
Oh, last week.
Was it only last week we did that?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago now.
Yeah. You came by our offices. It was a good day, wasn't it?
Yes. We
can't say when it's coming out, can you, or what is it?
We can't say now what it's called or what it's on.
Hush, hush.
But it'll be out early summer, late spring kind of time.
Well, actually, you're being filmed now, but it was successful at least.
The filming was fantastic. It was really, really, really hard work.
Yeah.
Tiring.
12-hour days.
Like laying a mole trap, for instance, takes 10 seconds usually. This took about half an hour for each one, because they'd have to do it again from a different angle, zoom in, do it again, do it from afar. Even walking into customers' houses took like about 20 minutes, didn't it? Yeah. They'd have to film it from the front, film it from the back. Then they'll go, oh no, you were on that side before, do it again, continuity.
Oh, yeah. Continuity.
Oh. Didn't that stress you out though?
Well,
because you not only got to treat the problem, which is your customer, but then you've got people recording you, and you have to accommodate them and understand if
we got used to it
right
sort of quite, after about half a day. It was just like, okay, I get it now. Yeah.
I almost found myself like talking to people almost like I was on the TV, to be honest with you. I keep finding myself dropping back into it.
And it's funny watching similar programs now because you're seeing what they're doing is what we would what we had to do, like when they're sort of speaking when they're speaking to just the right of the camera and they're actually looking at the side of the cameraman's face, probably that kind of thing. It's
I was watching something last night and I nearly messaged you. So you should watch this because then you'll understand what I was on about with the way people talk to the. But not to the camera.
Yeah.
And now they're just talking to the man's speaker or microphone or to his left ear and things like that.
That first day though, when it was 12 hours we were out for, did probably 3-4 jobs maybe, something like that. It was a killer.
It cost us a fortune as well, didn't it? Like getting customers to let us film there and.
Yeah. Oh, did it? Because you had to give them free.
We had to give most of the jobs away for free, and obviously we had to put those 2 days aside. For this, so there's 2 days we weren't actually working really.
Yeah, and then the preparation beforehand.
Oh god, yeah. It was very, very tiring. In fact, it took a week for us to get over it really. And but they want to do it again, don't they?
Again in January.
Back in Jan,
which is a good thing. It's got to be a good thing, as long as we're slightly on there with the name and stuff really, but people will find out.
The thing is though, we've got it's all down to whether we've got enough work at the start of January, because as pest controllers know, usually January and February time are pretty quiet, aren't they?
Can you not just place a rat?
You are?
Just place one.
No, we're not allowed that.
Not allowed on TV.
Not allowed setting up like that.
No, we would never do that.
We did suggest a few things like, no, can't do that. No, can't do that. We're like, yeah, but no.
How was it working with a director and you?
He was good. He was sound, wasn't he? He knew exactly what he was doing and what shots he wanted and the order of things he wanted to film, and then he was like, oh, I need to go back and film that bit from yesterday, and it was all very
because their brains work in like in an edit way, don't they? It's like because you have to do some of the bits and you're thinking, well, this is the end of the job, but I'm doing it in the middle here. What's going on? Yeah, your brain gets used to it after the first day, like you said, though, doesn't it?
Mm. And we got your dog Pino on as star of the show, didn't we?
Oh, of course. Pest Interceptors mascot is Pino, right?
Pino, like the wine.
Well, we got a little coat with instead of Pest Interceptors on it, it's got Pet Interceptor, and it's like a high vis jacket. And honestly, I can't get the bloody thing off her.
She loves it.
All the coats I've bought her over the years, and she hates it. She'll just stand there in the coat, won't move. Put this thing on her, and she's like, "Yes, I'm one of the lads now."
Yeah, she feels like she's like one of us, I think. So
strange.
Get her
but she
out.
likes coming out then.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, we filmed her searching for some rats in a hay bale in one of our customers' farms, and she had a GoPro camera on her back.
Yeah.
So you're going to see her like diving in and out of these hay bales. It should be really good.
Should be good, that, yeah.
But we had to film that about 15 times over.
Really?
But Pino loved jumping in hay bales, so it was all right.
Yeah. Just tell her there's a rat in there, and she's happy with that.
Yeah, you go, where's a rat?
Yeah,
Point, and she'll just go dart to it and just
run at it.
But one of the great things about that crossbreed of dogs, she's a border Lakeland Terrier, and most dogs, if you point at something, they'll just stare at the end of your finger. But that breed of dog, you can actually point at stuff and they'll look at where you're pointing. There's only a few dogs that'll actually do that, apparently, so I've been told. Shame old Maisie didn't make it, though.
Yes, there were 2 pet interceptors up until early the year, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh,
she was 18, though, and she drank more
That's
than
quite
me
old,
and ate curries. And
she used to love, my missus makes the spiciest food in the world, like stupidly spicy. She'll have breakfast and stuff, and she makes this chilli, and it's hot. She just loved it. She licked the leftovers off his plate, no problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's dying in the corner, like drinking gallons of milk, because she's just like, give me more.
Yeah, she absolutely loved it, didn't she? Anything spicy, kebabs, you name it, she'd eat it.
I had 2 pet rats up until this weekend.
That's a little ironic, I must say.
It is a little bit ironic. Well, when we first got, my missus went mad. I want baby rats. I was like, okay, all right. So we got them. They were tiny, really tight, cute little things. But she basically banned me from going anywhere near them with my work top on, because they'll just know I'm a pest controller. So I had to come home and get changed, and then I was allowed to stroke them. That one, I
saw one in my house again the other day, by the way. Which is
this
nice.
is not a good sign, Chris.
No,
you're
not,
a pest controller.
Well, I'm terrified of wasps and traps. Yeah, them tunnel mole ones, they're just terrifying, mate.
They are, aren't they?
I won't touch them unless I've really got it.
Leave it to the big boys like Chris.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll just pass it to him because I pass things down. There you go, Chris.
Well, when I first started, I got stuck in my front room with a fen trap, didn't I?
Yeah, both hands stuck in a fen.
Sat there on my own, couldn't ring anyone, couldn't do anything until I worked out how to get it out. And I was thinking, well, what the hell do I do next? Sat here on
couldn't
my
open
own.
the front door because you.
I was stuck like a squirrel, man. Saying that with the fen traps and stuff, though, tunnel systems are so much better than laying them without the tunnels. To be honest with you, it's a bit annoying to pay £20 a piece for them plastic boxes, like. But
why? Because it feeds them through.
yeah, it's cleaner kills. In fact, since we've been using tunnel traps and those other box things, I can't remember, what's the actual term for them? I can't remember what they're called.
Green boxes.
Green boxes. We've not had like a badly caught one since, have we? So every single one of them has been a clean kill. Because it directs them into the trap the way they're supposed to, as opposed to them coming from the side.
Capturing their leg in it or something like that.
Yeah. Still don't know how sometimes you're like when you're after squirrels, even in one of them tube traps.
Yeah.
And they've set the trap off so quick.
Wow.
Yeah, well, usually on the phone we'll say to a customer, you know, when we're talking through the job and what could go wrong and things like that. With squirrels, I usually say, well, you know, this is true most of the time, but occasionally you come across one that's like it's been trained by the SAS, you know, and you can be really up against it with them. But usually their inquisitiveness is their downfall, really, because they'll always come and have a look at things and stuff like that. But occasionally, like I say, you get one, it's just like, what the hell? Mind you, get that with mice and rats as well, can't you? I think all my mice in my house have been trained by the same SAS mouse.
You thought you nailed it didn't you, last night. You had a quiet night up until about 6 o'clock this morning.
6 o'clock this morning. Woke up to the noise of scratching.
Was it yesterday or the day before you spent like cementing holes and above your kitchen
with my bad
ceiling?
back. With my bad back.
He's like, surely I've got it now. Surely I've done it now. And he messaged me like, not heard any mice yet.
You know what else as well? I looked under the floorboards before we came here. And there was some wire wool stuck in some of the contact gel under the floorboards. So the cheeky gits have taken some of the stuff from the roof, which is like 20 feet away, and pulled it into my floorboards. I mean, what the... Oh, well.
Have you even worked out where they're coming in from somewhere?
Yeah. Worry is that they're coming through from next door, and I'm doing my house up at the moment, and what I don't want to do is do my house up, and there'll be a hole going through to their house that the mice are coming back through, especially as it's house mice, because you know it could be 2,000 mice easily, you know, in a year. So if it's been going on for a year, maybe 2-3 years, who knows? And then they've found a route through to mine, and that could be one of the reasons why I'm struggling so much.
Is it a semi?
It's a terraced house. Mine's classed as an end terrace, even though there's a house right next to it.
Right.
So there's two walls, but they actually butt against each other. So there can be a little gap in between there, maybe, or a brick missing, or something like that. It's been an absolute nightmare. I'm just glad it's my house, really. I know it sounds strange, but if it had been a customer's, I'd have just been... Jesus. Don't know what to suggest next to you, really. Let's start knocking your ceilings through. Now I've had to knock holes in the 2 kitchen roofs. I've basically got into the kitchen now, and so it'll keep me out of trouble for a while.
Forced renovation, that is.
It is, yeah. It started off having some new light fittings put in. That was it. Not light switches. Yeah, that's how it all started. And I struggled that much to get any electrician to even come out to give me a quote. So I've got this young kid who seemed to know what he was on about, and then he just made a total hash of it. And then I've had to get my son Ricky in, and he's putting everything right now, basically. And it wouldn't be so bad if they did the job right all the time, but it doesn't seem that easy to find anyone who can do the job.
We're slowly becoming plumbers and things like that.
Yeah, well, we've had to.
Oh, you're going into drone inspection, aren't you?
Yeah,
we do it virtually every rat job we go to now. It's drain survey. Truth is, it's the only way to stop 95% of rat jobs are coming out of a broken sewer. So you need to sort that problem out, and in the long term, it's actually better. And the great thing is when that people have had lots of other pest control companies out, or especially council, and it's gone on for sometimes it's like 10 years, and I've just experienced mice under my floorboards for a few months. Imagine if it was rats; it must be an absolute nightmare.
Horror.
I'd burn my house down, I think, if I wasn't a pest controller. And
drive you mad.
Well, it would do. The noise must be unbelievable. The smell, the fact that they're rats, and at any moment now they could chew through your floorboards, or it must be terrifying. I've put up with that for 10 years, but then they get us in, and sometimes I'll say to them over the phone, I'm already 80% certain you're going to end up having to do a survey.
If they say, they're coming into my kitchen extension or something, you're like,
kitchen extension.
There's a manhole just right there.
So what do you do? You put a camera down?
Yeah, we'll survey the system for them.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll be covered under Severn Trent, or so we'll get Severn Trent out for them. So they don't
Like a local water supplier.
Yeah. But the problem there is, you see, they're trained to look for collapses, big problems, when really you're looking for a 10 mil hole.
Yeah.
You know, because a rat will get through that. So it's like, well, yeah, quite often we've got at jobs, they might have it cover on their insurance. They'll have the insurance people out, and then we go out and the insurance company says, no, there's no problems with your drainage.
Yeah.
And then quite often I've said to customers, right, I'll do the survey for free, but if I find issues that causing this problem that they've missed, then you need to pay me at the end of the day. And I've not been paid yet. Every single time. That was a classic one at that house.
The three or four manhole problems one, and they said there was nothing.
Yeah. I said, are you sure there's no problems, to the bloke, didn't I? He was like, mate, I've done this for 15 plus years. I know what I'm on about. And I went, all right, okay. Then off he drove. And I said to the customers, right, we'll get our camera out. We spent 2 hours. We did, I think it was the 3 or 4 manholes. Four manholes, and 3 of them had got issues in. We sorted the issues out there, and then on that day, problem sorted.
How do you fix them? If you find, let's say you find a hole then in one of the
usually, I mean, it could be a big job. Then we're going to ring someone else in and say, or tell the customer what the issue is, and they might need to even get another survey done, because we're not doing a survey for insurance purposes. We're doing it to find out how the rats are getting in.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, usually it's going to be an old defunct, might be an old toilet under the building that was just knocked out. And it could have been an open pipe for 15 years, 20 years, and never had an issue. But people don't know there's an issue until they start hearing the rats.
Right.
You know, but the thing is, if they don't get the problem sorted, you'll get rid of the rats for a while.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be back to square one. And the longer it goes on for, the faster that will happen. One of the biggest giveaways is the customers had no food go missing.
Okay.
So it's like, well, there's a good giveaway, because they're eating something.
Yeah.
So you can hear them in the walls and in the ceilings. So basically, I think a lot of the time they might just be either going in there and nesting in there, but I think sometimes it just starts because of their inquisitiveness. And they'll start taking insulation out of the walls, places like that, and maybe they take them back into the sewer system to a separate nest. But there is a certain point where they start nesting in the house itself. Well, you know something, right? The one thing you never want to do as a pest controller is go for a pint with another pest controller. Because unless you work together, it's different. Because then when we get to the pub, we just don't want to talk about pests at all, do we?